The presentation of today's racing program is a copyrighted broadcast of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, recreation, or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. The track is sloppy, and we are off the turf today. Here are the early changes. The first race begins the 50-cent early pick 5. Scratch number 3, Sweet Mia. And with that scratch, there's no show, no trifecta, and no superfecta wagering in the first. Second race starts the early pick 4, scratch number 4, Osborne. Race 2, scratch number 4. Third is Off the Turf. Number 1, Tenderness, will be running with a hood. Scratch number 2, Corey Scores. Scratch 4, Wicked Amber. Scratch 5, Kassar. Jockey change for 6, Jen's Battle to Joel Rosario. And scratch number 7, Smooth Pebble. Third race, scratch numbers 2, 4, 5, and 7. Off the turf to be run at 5.5 on the main track. No changes in the fourth. The fifth race, fresh pool for the pick 6, scratch number 7, the Goddess of Snakes. Sixth race begins the late pick 5 with no changes. The seventh is off the turf and will be run at 1.25 miles on the main track. Start of the late pick 4, scratch number 1, Olympico. Scratch 3, Shamrocket. Scratch 4, Opry. Scratch 8, Canenos. And scratch 9, Gunnison. Scratch numbers 1, 3, 4, 8, and 9 out of the seventh race to be run at 1.25 miles on the main track. Number 11, Backside of the Moon, will be ridden by Javier Castellano. Javier Castellano on number 11. Eighth race off the turf. The distance will be 1.125 miles on the main track. Scratch number 3, Gambling Cat, as well as 4, Coworth Park, 5, Kitten with a Whip, 8, Triple Digit, 8, Triple Digit, 10, Jocular, and 11, Karamoka. Scratch numbers 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, and 11 out of the eighth race. The ninth race is the Union Avenue. As noted in your program, there's no show wagering. Scratch number 2, Lot of Honey. 3, Irish Constitution, 3 pounds over. And 4, Hannah Dances, 1 pound over in the Union Avenue. And the 10th race is off the turf. Will be run at 1.125 miles. Scratch 1, Akushla, as well as 1A, Cali Fitz, 3, Hit the Nail, and 7, Tingling Mint. Note that number 9, Miss Flincher, carries 1 pound over. And then continuing with scratches, scratch 10, Saluki, 11, Tapple Cider, and 13, Millstone Creek. Scratch 1, 1A, 3, 7, 10, 11, and 13 out of the 10th, which will be run on the main track at 1.125 miles. Those are the early changes. Enjoy your afternoon here at Saratoga Racecourse. Post time for the first race. Start of the 50-cent early pick 5 is at 1:05 p.m. Coming up, Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. On a little bit of an overcast Thursday here at Saratoga. The rain actually has stopped, Anthony. We're hoping it's cooled down, but we did get quite a bit of rain. We are off the turf. We are slopping off the turf. It's funny, Anthony, people were asking me, and he's Anthony Stabile, by the way. I'm Andy Serling. Were asking me on Twitter about, is this like an incredible amount of rain for Saratoga? I haven't come in a long time. I mean, we've had years here
it's
where
Thursday. I was telling Buddy it's Thursday.
washed off more than half the cards. I mean, it's unpredictable in times. And I think because the last few years we've had such a minimal amount of rain that we got spoiled a little bit. So it happens, and you try to make the most of the opportunities, and these could be great cards.
Yep.
For betting.
Yeah,
they could be. They can be lousy cards for betting.
You
but
make
so
a lot of money on. You make a lot of money on these cards more often than not. So.
Well, I mean, you think about like. I love Saturday's card. I got buried. So, opportunities can present themselves in different ways. And we love the good racing. We want to be on the turf, but you're going to get some rain. That is what it is. One certainty, that you join NYRA Bets, you'll be happy. That's the certainty. You'll use the promo code SPOT200. We will match it with $200 of your initial deposit, once you've played. And you'll become a member of NYRA Bets and supporting racing in New York. And we appreciate that. 50-50-50 bonus today. Saratoga, Del Mar, Delaware, 50 or more at each track. If you opt in, $15 bonus. That's on Thursdays. Del Mar is racing today. They're on a 4-day-a-week schedule starting today. What else we got? Jose, low roller contest. Jay and Ray. I had a couple cocktails with Jay the other night. Be honest with you, he's kind of insufferable, but he's just, you have those friends you've known for years, and you just have to spend some time with them.
Too much.
$40 buy-in. He happens to be one of the nicest people I know. $40 buy-in, $30 live money, $10 to the prize pool. Terrific tournament, and today's a great day for it. And get involved. I really think if you play the low rollers, keep in mind, $30 live money, so the majority of it is your bankroll. It's not like it's any different, and you'll keep any and all monies you make, and you might be able to get some money in the prize pool. So a lot of fun. Head over to the 4-Star Dave bar. Anthony will be there drinking all afternoon, as he always is.
I will not.
By the time, third, fourth race rolls around, he won't even remember his name. So if you see him, give him a little help. Saratoga Saturday.
This is a fallacy.
I kid. Anthony will be hard at work on the radio all afternoon. Saratoga Saturday contest, $300 buy-in, cash and seat prizes. Head to NYRA.com/contest.
Stop getting in my face with the /.
I'm very upset that you had to go to Fran to confirm that I said Fran said it. 1 to 6:30, FS2. Today, all of the action from Saratoga. It's quiet today.
I wasn't confirming that she said it. I was confirming that that's what it was.
You didn't believe me.
It is quiet
I'm
today.
hurt. Deeply hurt.
Well, I'm sure you are.
What do you think of the rare dark shirt today?
I'm sorry?
What do you think of the rare dark shirt that I'm wearing today?
You're a purple guy. It's like a dark
no
blue
purple.
going
It's
to purple.
blue. There's no purple.
I think it's good. I think I look better, but I mean, it's fine.
Anthony, it's nice that at least one person thinks you look better than I do.
Oh,
Race number 1.
Oh, Lord.
You've got Anna's Fast and True Castle. They may run 1-2 around the racetrack. I don't know, man. These horses have had sort of the run of the race in their races. I didn't pick against them. I'm going to try to reverse it with True Castle, Michelle Giangiulio, who won that stake with Seaphone for her first win, one of the more exciting moments last year. I'm hoping that she could kind of reverse it a little bit. Maybe Violent Point. Puts a little bit of pressure on Anna Fast. That's so well. You're going to go in a different direction. I don't blame you. This is not an enthusiastic pick by me. You, David Aragona, like she's a black belt more than I do. I'm just not sure she's that good, but So I worked at Cantermachi last night, actually. Ran into him on the corner of Henry and Caroline. So I was heading towards dinner.
Okay. I'm hoping
For what
she
it's worth. He's not the first trainer I saw today, but he's the last one I saw last night.
that,
Does that count?
that doesn't count. No. So it's going to be the longest shot on the board. I'm hoping that, like you said, Violent Point puts a little pressure on Fast Anna. Drew Castle can win this race. I'm against Fast Anna in here. Anna's Fast, rather. I'm against Anna's Fast. I
would bet against Fast Anna. I think he might not be in racing shape.
He's
not eligible.
I still might take Fast
He's
Anna.
a male.
Right.
He's a he.
He's a he. Yeah, I'm just hoping she's a black belt can work out the trip for Mert.
She got that one race on a muddy Harrowed track that's fast enough to win here. The rest of them are a little on the slow side. I just didn't know if she was good enough. Believe me, I wanted to pick against these horses. I really did. And I think she is a viable alternative. I don't trust them. Yesterday's track, if you just look at results, and I think it's an interesting discussion. If you look at the results, speed was extraordinarily good all day. And that's inarguable. But they were relatively logical results. And in looking at the Beyer speed figures for yesterday, and they're not the be-all and end-all, but I think when you look at a group of 8 races, there weren't figures that were outliers. They were pretty much running their numbers. So I don't really think that speed was dramatically helped. Is it possible it was harder to gain some ground in those races? Maybe, but I don't want to make these assumptions. And obviously, we've got a completely different track than yesterday, and sloppy tracks can be good to speed.
Got an inch and
they
a half
can be
of
bad
rain.
for speed. You know?
Inch and a half.
You're very
inches
big
of
on the
rain.
amounts of rain.
Yeah.
I'm very big on that. An inch and a half. Did you like measure it? I'm going to ask Glenn Kozak how much rain we got. Should I text Glenn and find out exactly what we got?
I'll go with.
Oh, I won. I won the lunch yesterday. I'm up 80.
I'm going to go 1.78.
Oh, I'll take the under. I won a lunch from Lee Einseidler yesterday. He bet me there would be over 10 claims on the Chad Brown Clarvich horse that won yesterday. What's that?
Free Enterprise?
Free Enterprise.
I wouldn't have taken that.
I just didn't
There
think
were
there would be
no
that many
claims
people.
in the time before. Why would there be 10 this time?
Well, it was running for less money.
32 for 50? Not one in for 50? You think it's going to be 10 for 30? What was
A
it,
lot.
6?
It's $18,000. I know that $18,000 is a mere bag of shells to a man of your means.
Exactly.
But to many people, $18,000 is a reasonable amount of money. Not you.
All kidding
Not
aside,
you,
not
Anthony,
when you're playing
but
the claiming game. What was it, 6?
6. My feeling was I didn't know if 10 people would claim off of Chad Brown, to be honest with you.
That's
and by
a
the
good
way,
point.
he played over for $32,000. I think if you're Chad Brown, you ran in the right spot. He won by what? About that much?
Yep.
So
Both
where
sides.
was he supposed to run him?
Yep.
Race number 2. Let's take a look at Big Scully. And I think Big Scully is the decision that you have to make in this race. On the surface of things, he ran fairly well. Nothing wrong with his performance. I wonder how strong this race was. What do you think?
Yeah, that was my feeling. I don't know what this field was really made up of. I thought he ran fine, and with a little improvement, he could absolutely win here. But these restricted races, Andy, they're kind of hard to handicap for the simple fact that you don't know what's behind them. Now, a couple of years ago, the filly for Brad Cox, whose name is escaping me, she wound up winning the.
Yes, I know.
She won the Breeders' Cup.
She won the Alcibiades. She won the Breeders'
Alcibiades
Cup.
and the
Starts with
Breeders'
a
Cup.
B, right?
Yeah.
Michael Dobbs horse.
Yeah, you can find these gems in these races. That race, this horse ran. It did not look like you were going to find any gems.
Well,
out
the
of it.
second horse had run reasonably well for Norm Cassie in the prior start. I've got the horse second. I think that he is way the horse to beat in here. I'm trying to beat him. Do you have a tip on St. Luke's? I know it's Rudy.
No,
No tip.
no.
What do you like about this
I
horse?
just like the last work. I like Arad's going to climb on board. That was it again. You know, there's a lot of guessing, and I think there's a lot of guessing.
Well, this
in
just
these
does not have
races.
any pedigree. I mean, you got turf horses. The dam was all turf. She's produced 2 foals that did no running. That doesn't mean this horse can't run. Okay. I mean, listen, it's all guessing. You know what the interesting pedigree horse in this race is? I'm guessing you didn't look up pedigrees.
I did, but I don't know who would
Well,
be.
if you did, you would know there's a wild pedigree horse in this race.
6?
Okay, the wild pedigree horse in this race is the one, Pepito. Pepito, first of all, he's a master. He was very interesting first crop sire. But also this horse half the Spanish Moon. Spanish Moon's a pretty good Euro that came to New York and won the first running and will be as every running of this race will always be won by Euros. Won the first running of the Jockey Club Derby at Belmont Park. And I think ended up finishing second over in Dubai in one of their races.
The turf.
A serious
All
racehorse.
turf, no?
This horse sold for $17,000. I don't care if it's turf, dirt, glass, synthetic. This horse sold for $17,000 a 2-year-old sale. I did not. I didn't think the workout was that bad. 10 2/5. They didn't really ride the horse that hard. Sold for $17,000. George Weaver's listed as the owner. St. Elias bred this horse and sold it. This is kind of a weird horse given that pedigree. And I'll tell you something. It's funny. I tweeted yesterday. George had like his 7th horse finish second. That horse was an overlay that finished second. That was the horse we had the lunch bet on. That George is going to have some nice price winners, and I blew it on that horse in the off-the-turf race that won for George. I should have had that horse. I was mad after the race because that horse has won dirt race, and we talked about it briefly. The show
Mr.
wasn't
Bingo.
bad. This is, to me, kind of the weirdo horse. Now, no, the 6 has no pedigree at all. There's 4 horrible horses from the dam. The 5, Inevitable Connection, is a half horse, ran an 88 buyer. Now, about 1.5 to 2 of the horses were good from the foal. The dam was unraced. To connect, I thought this workout was pretty good. I mean, it's not like the rider is like all out. And I thought Inevitable Connection looked pretty good. This workout only sold for $20,000. I don't know. I was going to take a shot with this horse for Steve Placeris and Joel Rosario. coming in from out of town for this race. No, nothing, just guessing.
Yeah,
Like the
guessing.
workout. We'll see
British
what plays
idiom,
out.
by the way, thanks to Acacia Courtney.
What's that?
British idiom.
British idiom. Yes. Steve didn't check in. Steve's busy. By the way, Steve may not be as on top of the show as he is on normal days.
Okay.
He's got some important things going on.
Okay.
Race number 3. So I got to think that Kazar was a vet scratch, don't you?
I would assume.
I mean, she looked to me like the horse to beat in here. I'm a little surprised by her being scratched. We'll take a look at Rosie's Peach, who stays in and comes off a win. I just can't take her off her whole body of work. And I also thought this was a race where other horses got a bit compromised by race dynamics, and Rosie's Peach did not. She got an exceptional ride by Louis Cardenas that day. I hope Louis is doing all right, and we see him soon, by the way. Any idea on that?
She was able to split horses here, and I mean, they were fanned out 6-7 across the track here, and Louis gave this filly a good ride. She got a handle of 5.5 now. Yeah, she's a very logical contender. Very logical.
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in this horse in this race overall. I get that Tenderness is the horse to beat in here. I can't stomach taking this horse on top. I really can't. I really don't think I think she's been extremely disappointing in her races, and I think she's the horse to beat. I have nothing against it. If somebody thinks she's a lock in this race, that's fine. I'm going to tell you something. She's just been singularly unimpressive. I think her running lines look better than they are.
Yeah, but going 5.5, and she's supposed to control on the front end. That might just be enough in here, Andy.
She's not that fast.
There's nobody else.
What about
fast.
Jen's Battle? Isn't Luis Saez going with Jen's Battle?
I believe that's Joel Rosario.
Aha. Isn't Joel Rosario going with that horse?
I don't know. I would imagine that Jose Ortiz is on a dead send from the rail with Tenderness.
I'm sure he's going to send, but I think that Jen's Battles is faster, not faster.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's not going. I don't think anybody would argue he's not going.
Okay.
You don't think Jen's Battle is as fast as she is?
No, I don't think she is.
Okay, I think you'll be surprised.
Okay.
I'm just not a big fan of this horse, and she can win. I put her second. I wanted to get a little goofy in here because, you look through this race, you start looking at the dirt races. The horses like Sky Kitten ran in here and got the 4 is scratched. When did they scratch the 4? Oh, she scratched. So my pick should be 8, 1, 9, I guess 3. 8, 1, 9, 3. Thank you. But I did send in the 4, so that's on me. I had done it after the scratches. You look at Sky Kitten's dirt races. She's got dirt races that are good enough to win this race. And I know it's Randy Persaud. She's going to be a big price. And I'll tell you something. When Randy and Luis Rodriguez Castro win races at this meet, these are the horses that are going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you don't think I'm crazy because you've got the horse third.
No, not
And
at all.
these connections won't take money. And listen, I don't trust her at all. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in love with her. But she's a horse that could be 10 to 1, 12 to 1 in this race.
I don't think she'll be that high.
You don't?
No.
What price do you think she's going to be?
that high. I think she'll be.
What kind of prices she is in our recent races, Ant?
No, I know, but I feel like people are going to see what you're seeing. That her
What price
dirt
do you think she's
races, her dirt, 8 to 1.
I think 8 to 1's fine. I think she'll probably be higher.
I don't disagree. I think 8 to 1's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like she's going to be the potential value. I think she rates to be a better price than her chance of, or as close to, is a better price you're going to get in here. Because Tenderness could be 4 to 5 or 3 to 5 in here. And maybe she should be, by the way. But you like Tenderness as a horse more than I do. I just think she's at best sort of okay.
She's loose today.
She's not really loose on
5.5.
paper, to be honest with you. But you have different opinions on pace than I do.
We'll see.
You were right, by the way, on the rain. I just got the call from Glenn Kozak, the text. Who's better than Glenn Kozak? With all the things he has to do, he even answers text from this idiot.
What did I say, 1.79?
7.4. 1.89. That's a lot of rain.
How about that?
Wow.
I win Price's Right rules. I was under.
You make a great point. I would have, because I would not have guessed 1 over. I would have guessed 1 under.
Yeah, you would have guessed under me.
Yeah, I would have definitely guessed under you. I would have. No, I would have lost. Race number 4. I think race number 4 and race number 5 have a correlation. Are you aware of that correlation?
I am not.
You're not aware, even though you picked both horses. You're not aware there's a correlation.
No.
The horse in the next race that you picked has been working favorably with more moonshine. And that's the reason she's going to be about 4 to 5.
I don't pay attention to the workouts, Andy.
Right. Okay. So anyway, We'll show more Moonshine's race, and you can wax poetic about her.
You know, again, Bill Mott Firsters. He's amped up his game recently. The fillies have always been better than the boys. You feel? I mean, this filly was just really, really good.
She was.
She jumped on top of these horses off the turn.
Didn't she get a perfect trip?
Over.
I mean,
She did.
Pace that
She
just
got
collapsed.
a perfect trip. She did. She got a perfect trip. But she already has a win here at Saratoga in the mud.
Ooh.
Pedigree tells you she's going to handle the 9 furlongs without a problem.
The Tomlinson is not that strong. I'm just letting you know.
So
and you're a
sick.
Tomlinson
Such
guy.
a sick guy. I mean, she was geared down here. She did everything right, and
Did everything right. You know what Bill Mott doesn't do right? And what's interesting is that we've talked about this in general with the Mott horses off of maiden wins. There was that horse you liked earlier, the New York bred, that ran second but beat in a pole. Didn't run badly. The winner ran a huge, huge race for Danny Gargan. I don't trust this horse coming back. I was surprised. I'm not surprised you picked her because I know that you're going to bet these Mott horses, but she might be better than these horses. I don't disagree. She might be a very nice horse. I don't like these kind of stretch outs. I don't like the fact that people are going to see that she won in the mud in Saratoga and think that one mud equates to another one. I don't believe in that. I think she's probably a good horse. I don't want a horse that wins a 7-furlong race with a perfect setup in the mud and then comes back at a short price going 2 turns. I think it's very, very different. And she may win this race, but I think she's going to be a horrendous value play in this race. And I think she's a good horse to be playing against.
okay.
It doesn't mean she won't win, and I won't be surprised. And maybe I should have gone 2-5-1, and maybe I went a little bit overboard. But I like Ice Princess in this race. And don't get me wrong, I don't trust Ice Princess. But she likes a wet track, too. And this was not Irad Ortiz's best moment, okay? I don't know why you've got a horse that has enough speed to be a little more forward in a 1 1/8 race here, which almost 50% have been dominated by horses on the front end. You're like spending the entire first eighth to a quarter of the mile losing position badly, and it just is like a nightmare. It's like, what's that line from Color of Money? It's just a nightmare. It keeps getting worse and worse. How is she going to win after this debacle?
No chance.
And what benefit did she get? Now, listen, maybe he was riding to instructions, though Danny Gargan is a trainer. His horses usually are pretty forwardly placed. I mean, at this point, she has ceded an enormous advantage to a horse who's running the Alabama on Saturday. And I actually think she did a reasonable amount of running in this race under extraordinarily non-ideal circumstances. Maybe More Moonshine is just a really good horse, and she'll beat her. And that may be the case. She better be.
Yeah, this was a tough trip last time. And you would imagine she's going to be a little bit more forward today because this didn't work, whether it was done by design or by accident. It did not work.
Well, it's not a question of it worked. It was an awful trip
on the turn, yeah.
It's an awful trip, and I don't think the design. I don't think Danny said to Irad, "What I really like you to do is steady completely out of position behind a slow pace." I'm thinking this is the recipe to win, Irad. I've thought about it a lot. And that's how horses run their best races. They steady completely out of position behind slow paces. It's not it didn't work. It was a disaster what took place in this race. And I still think she ran an 81 buyer under non-ideal circumstances. And we know that she can go long against a horse that ran an 86 buyer under ideal circumstances. She's kind of a proven money-burning loser, and that's the problem. But she's got
February of last year.
You know, she lost to Make Mischief, who's run pretty competitively in some good stakes. I like her today, and at a better price, I prefer. Is Misty Vale complete? What if Misty Vale? We'll take a look at her briefly. What if she just gets loose out there?
I'm afraid of Misty Vale. I think she's the horse that.
You've got the 2/4 here.
Yeah,
that'll work out well for you.
I feel like Misty Vale is the horse that can just do what she did last time: catch one of these muddy tracks and just say sayonara on the front end.
Isn't one of the reasons that Luis Saez is on Ice Princess is that Danny wants to be more forward with her?
I would think. I don't know if she's as fast as this filly. This filly can get the lead.
No, she's not remotely as fast,
Yeah.
but I think she'll be a bit more forward. And I mean, I have to think your horse is going to be somewhat forward.
I would too.
Stretching out. That's an interesting race. I like Ice Princess. I like her a lot today, actually. We'll see how it works out. Race number 5. Your selection, Silver Strand, before more moonshine ran, they worked together. They worked favorably together. So she has not been working with her recently. But have at it.
I believe this is the first horse Jeff Drown has given to Bill Mott. Solid work tab by Frosted.
Well, it feels like he bought the horse and then probably Summer Wind bought back into it, I would guess, right?
Yeah, that could be. I don't know, good work tab. I am not thrilled with what I've
So
seen.
you don't have any
from the
story. You don't have the
horses.
tip on this horse.
No,
because there's a gigantic tip on this horse.
I have no tip.
Okay, there's a gigantic story on this horse floating
okay.
around. Yeah.
I did not
Huge
know.
story running around this horse.
I did not know.
There is.
I believe you. I'm just telling you I didn't get it.
This horse has a pedigree. The dam won $630,000. She ran 103 Buyer. So have to a very good Japanese horse, I want to say.
Okay.
Listen, I could have put this horse on top. I thought about it. I just don't like putting these first-time stars on top, and I don't trust O'Gotten Girl. And we'll take a look at her race 2 back when she finished second. But you are talking about a horse who, in January, ran an 81 Buyer, and I don't trust her. Her next race, she chased outside against a gold rail into a horse that freaked, and then she doesn't run a long time since that race. She has the potential to just run off from this field out of the gate with Luis Saez, and maybe Silver Strand is just too good for these, and that's entirely possible. I respect that, but I'm always going to go with the horse with the experience, and this is a horse that ran a fast race in January. She could just be too good first time out.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, you have her third.
my problem with her is I kind of feel like the race 2 back, she kind of has to win. The race last time, she gets blown out of the water, and now we don't see her for a while. She comes
Something
back,
went wrong. She was also against the track last time, which exaggerates performances.
She comes back going 6.5. Against the track or not, she's been gone 6 months.
Well, the 5 is a first-time starter going 6.5. So what are we talking about here?
No. She's got to do the. I'd rather be first time out than have to do this going off 6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
I know Mott's going to get them ready. I'm not saying Todd Pletcher.
Todd Pletcher, that clown Todd Pletcher,
get
get her ready? Well, you just said that Mott will get her ready and this one won't be
It's
ready.
hard to get these horses off the bench ready.
Okay. I don't see how one it isn't and one it is. It either is hard for both of them.
You don't think the race is going a mile or better? I think she's.
Obviously, something went wrong last time out,
Right.
and she was against the track. But I don't really understand your logic. I mean, it's fine if you want to take the first-time starter and you don't trust O'Gotten Girl. That's fine. But I don't understand the logic of one being ready and the other one not being ready. That makes no sense. Okay, fine. Shalimar Gardens. I don't know if this race was that good, and she got a very, very good trip and good ride from Junior. She does have a big pedigree, and Raisha DePaz's horses have run. Are you going to be surprised when she runs a lot better today?
Not at all. I put a second. She looked like at one point she was going to run these 2 fillies down in front of her, right here. You think she's going to get there, and she just levels off.
Thank God she didn't. I wish the second horse got there, though, but I did okay. You like the winner.
I did.
Actually, I had the exact
second
yeah.
horse. Yeah. She kind of excuse me. She kind of leveled off. She went the 6.5 first time out.
So she got the 6.5 first time out. So, but O'Gotten Girl off the layoffs is going to be a problem.
I also think O'Gotten Girl wants more ground.
But I thought you just said her mile race was worse, so she doesn't want more ground. Now I'm completely confused. The best race she ever ran was at 6 furlongs. How do you know she wants more ground? I'm confused here. Are you confused?
It's my opinion.
Somebody's
man.
confused around
It's my
here.
opinion.
Maybe all of us are confused.
Okay.
Silver Strand might be the goods. She might just win. I'll take the horse with experience over Silver Strand, but with respect to him, and I would use all of 135. A little more rain coming down, thank gosh. You know, we need a little more rain around here. Anthony and I are going to take a quick break. We are going to hear from our wonderful friends at Saratoga Water.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
the Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. We rejoin for the late pick 5. And we'll start with Gold Panda, who you and I both have on top. And I think at the end of the day, this horse ran against Killers the first 2 times. Water's Edge did disappoint down the inside last time out as a heavy favorite. King Angelo won on the turf, but he's a pretty good dirt horse. Thought this horse ran like a horse probably needed a race, and I just think he's a very likely winner today.
Yeah, Water's Edge also got into that ridiculous speed duel.
Was it that ridiculous?
I thought it was ridiculous.
Okay.
I would have let him she kisses.
By the way, just pointing out, Freddie's confused. So just letting you know.
Oh, Freddie's confused all the time.
Not always.
Yeah, just very logical today, right?
Yeah, she's the best horse in the race off that race. She ran a big fig. It's a tough horse to beat. Fenway's shipping in for Bob Baffert. I'm highly likely in the barn of Tanya and John Terranova. This horse has faced some good horses and faced some mediocre horses. Who names a New York bred Fenway?
I don't know. I don't know.
Wait. Sal Kuhlman could have something to do with this. So, Sal, this is a New York bred. You don't have to name it Citi Field just because you're from Boston, but naming New York breds Fenway, I got to tell you.
Got a problem
And
with
I
it?
would root for the Red Sox against the Yankees, but I would probably root for anybody against the Yankees. But having said that, but
Exactly.
you can't name a New York bred.
We finally
you
agree.
cannot name a New
We
York
finally
bred.
agree on something.
You cannot name a New York bred after Peter Goulet's late dog.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
It's just,
It's a
I'm
disgrace.
sorry, I can't accept this.
It's disgraceful.
It's disgraceful, right? Maybe at Madison Square Garden.
MSG, the
Yeah.
Mecca, whatever, something.
Yeah.
Name it Aqueduct.
Yeah, I like that.
Name it the Big A.
Well, let's not get carried away. But yeah, I can't. I don't
Where's
want.
Mr. Annoying, by the way?
Right here. What are you talking about?
It's the only horse that Mike Maker hasn't won with in the last 8 months.
He hasn't run in a while, so I'm guessing that he's unlike me, who shows up every day, Mr. Annoying.
Yes, you answer the bell, Andy.
Turns out
You
he's
are-
not. He's annoying, but he's not
You're
really.
you're a regular warrior.
I am. There's no question
You
about
hang,
that.
you hang your suit of armor right next to your pens.
I agree. My
at
cape.
home.
You know,
Cape.
all heroes don't wear capes, as a friend of mine likes to say.
I don't have a cape.
That you're not a hero. What
know
about the
about
horse
that.
you and I both have second, V Pattern? Do you want to talk about that horse, Anthony? Or, my honest opinion here is I'm against. I'm hearing voices from the sky.
Like Field of Dreams.
I don't want Fenway. He might win. I'm not a fan
I
of
don't
this
want
horse.
him
He can win.
All 2-turn races, too. That looked like, and you know,
Yeah.
when Bob Baffert runs them 2 turns first time, ordinarily they're not much. They usually get the sprint. All the good ones get a sprint first time out. And this
Who
horse
buys a
went
New York bred and goes to California with it? You know, the New York breds start with an advantage.
Big time.
And you don't use that advantage by running them in California and naming them after ballparks in Boston. I mean, it's kind of insulting.
There's a lot going on with V Pattern, right? Blinkers off, fresh gelding.
What do you think of the
haven't
first
seen him since
race?
October.
Horse broke about 2 lengths slow first time out. I don't know why it's not in the short
This was
comment.
the,
I don't know
this
if
was the
it's
Charlie
rated card.
Baker horse, right?
This horse,
The second
no,
horse.
Horn of Plenty was.
Horn of Plenty was actress, ran down Charlie Baker.
Charlie was now in Chad Brown's barn,
Right.
and he's turned to be a disappointment. But he broke about 2 lengths slow. While he was towards the inside of the backstretch, and I thought there was an advantage to the rail that day, maybe not a huge one. He did move 2 to 3 wide in the turn and made a wide run the stretch. A new gelding coming back, Rashi DePaz. I think he's a little bit interesting, and that's who I'm going to try to. Like you, Fenway can beat me. Gold Panda and this horse is where I'm going in here.
Okay.
I feel very strongly about this. Very, very strongly about this. Very
About all of it.
strongly.
The naming, everything.
Well, Anthony, it's a game of opinions. Got to have opinions, and I got lots of them. Race number 7, I have an opinion in here. I think that this is 1.25 miles, by the way. Clayton, the Lionheart,
Yep.
chose win last time. I will say one thing. He better run better than he ran this race. Because he was beating up on Anthony and I in horse suits all over the racetrack. No horses with any real dirt form. He was just too good for these horses. Now, he's run bigger figs, so I'm not that worried about it. And I think he is the horse to beat. He handles the distance, but he was also 3 for 22 with 7 seconds. But against better horses.
He is going to have to run. He's not going to have to run better. He's going to have to run a lot better. And
But he's run a lot better in the past.
But I'm going to say this, and this is something that you may even agree with me on. Source's wet track figs are considerably lower than his dry track races.
Yeah, I don't care about that stuff.
You don't care about a 20-point difference.
No.
Horse that regularly runs in the mid-80s and will throw a 90 in there.
He ran a 73 at a mile and a quarter at Churchill. His next race in the fast track was a 76.
And his race before that was an 86.
He ran a good track last time, Anthony. You're going to equate that good track to this track?
No, I'm not.
Now, Anthony, let's just be clear for the 7,000th time. I don't agree with you on this wet track stuff at all. In any capacity whatsoever. I think that you distract yourself. I think you distract the viewers. And I think if you would stop worrying about this wet track hooey.
This is right in front of you.
I don't agree with you, Anthony. I think horses run their races for the most part. And I don't agree with you. I just don't agree with you.
This horse's body of work is better on fast track than wet track.
Because most of his races have been on fast tracks. I just don't agree with you. You're never going to get me to buy this stuff. Ignoring it, if you would ignore it, just completely ignore it, you'd be better off.
Off that last effort. Now, I both have him second.
What about his record two-back when he lost to Dak Daniels by a half length with a 96 figure? How will he do with that? Runs that race?
So, listen, the races 2 and 3 back, I have no problem with him winning the race. But I think it's a little bit more of a coincidence than he runs those 2 figs and comes and catches some moisture in the ground and he loses 10 to 18 points.
We disagree about this stuff. We do. I think, his last fig is a hard fig, to be honest, because the next race was the Curlin. And then the last race was also an off-turf race. They came up significantly faster, and it was a slow race when you look at it. I don't know, these mile and a quarter races, I don't want to make too much out of these odd distance races that we rarely run and these figs. It was a slow race, no doubt about it. And the thing is, if you gave it an 86, you probably have to give Dynamic One a 105. And that's a hard thing to do, right?
You can't do that.
And I'm not saying that the fig is wrong, but I even think that Andy and Mark would probably say, I think he's more of a, listen, they're both going to say the 96. How about the 96 two-back? How did Dak Daniels do when he ran back? In 11 days. How did they all do? That race sticks out as a high number, but it works. It's tricky. So I don't know. All I know is that for the most part, horses run their races on dry and wet tracks, and sometimes the bias comes into play. Thomas Shelby, your top choice. You really confident with this horse getting a mile and a quarter?
He got the mile and an eighth, no problem, down at Oaklawn Park. It was his best race. So I think if you worded the question a different way, confidence is, am I worried he doesn't get it? Yes. I think that's different than having confidence he's going to get it. I think there's a worry that he doesn't get it, but if I'm going to go off his mile and an eighth race is the best race he has on the card.
No, he did. But he's also coming out of races where he's been 6-5, 3-5, even money,
he's coming out of logical spots.
I don't know.
Logical spots.
I don't know about this guy. He can win. He feels a little trappy to me the more I looked at him.
He wins, Andy.
He wins with even money. That's 3-5 and 6-5, and he's been doing well for Tino. I'm not going to be shocked when he wins here. I don't know, man. I got a weird feeling about him. I think he's meeting tougher competition in Clayton the Lionheart and Backside of the Moon. You know what? When push came to shove, listen, Backside of the Moon was an embarrassment last time, and his big figures 5 back was on a gold rail. But Backside of the Moon has a resume of races that would smash this field. And you know what? I'm going to hope.
I worry that his form is just.
Oh, I'm with you. He was horrendous last time. He was also 25-1. But even his race 2 back in the Excelsior is good enough to give him a chance to win this race. I mean, I think you may be underappreciating him overall. And he's a horse that just has races that can just beat this field. And I don't see any reason not to take him as the third choice in here. I think he's going to get a bit ignored, and we'll see how it plays out. I prefer him over the other two. I'm mostly 11-7, maybe a little bit of 10. I think Thomas Shelby might be a trap, but he can win, I guess. Race number 8. Battle Bling. Ooh, you picked against Battle Bling. Battle Bling is the horse to beat, right?
Yes.
Here's his race 4 back at Oaklawn. But this is not the same Battle Bling that's been running in recent races, though he ran okay off the claim for Danny, right?
You find it weird that he claimed this horse, Danny Gargan did, and put this horse right on the turf? I found it weird. I found it really strange. It's the only I'm taking a little shot against him, but if he runs the race from Oaklawn, if he runs that race, he's going to win. Or he's going to be right there.
Yeah, but
I
the
wanna
problem
take-
is
I
that
wanna
race
take
is
a
a bit of an
little swing against
aberration.
him. Yes.
He's never run a fig that good. His last dirt race was bad for Steve Asmussen, better horse or not. Tried the turf. I think probably his best weapon is here is he's the speed, right?
He's the speed. He's supposed to be in front, yes.
So that probably really helps him in here. Do we have the replay, Jose? Jose, you guys are amazing. The last second they brought it in, and they did it for you, Anthony, because you picked
Thanks,
Vegas
guys.
Weekend on top.
Really appreciate it. So Fausto Gutierrez of Latruska fame claimed this filly for $35,000. She's improved in every start for him. This is a big win in the A of the N. Now, she was in for the 50. She's going to be in for the 50 again because she won the A of the N down to Pimlico. She's traveled. She's run well at Gulfstream, Pimlico, Indiana Grand. Now she comes to Saratoga. Like you, I believe Battle Bling's going to go to the lead. I think she toes this filly right into the race. I think they leave out of there 6-7. I want to take a shot. I want to take a shot at a much better price with Vegas.
I don't like this horse at all. I've got her third by default.
Really?
I've got Carrick fourth, and I think she's no. Yeah, I don't like her at all. I just don't think she's good enough. We disagree. Simple as that. Let me ask you a question. By Anthony Stabile standards, why wouldn't you take Suspended Campaign? She ran against a better horse than Misty Vale last time. Her best race is on a sloppy sealed track back at Belmont.
Her best race was for Chad Brown.
No, her best race is a sloppy sealed track back
The
at.
race off the claim. Yeah, I guess.
You know, I think Chad's okay with that. I think he's going to be okay.
And she has no speed, and I worry on these sloppy tracks that horses like her can get shuffled. She can just get lost in the shuffle.
I want to bet you 2 lunches she finishes ahead of the 7.
Okay.
And I'm giving you there'll probably be similar prices. 2 lunches. And how many lunches? I want to bet 2 lunches she finishes ahead of the 9 too.
No, I don't want the 9.
1?
No, I don't really want the 9.
Just the 7. Okay,
Yeah.
2 lunches. That's the only one we're at 80. Okay. Yeah.
Top pick battle.
Top pick battle. Lunch battle with top picks.
Those are my favorites.
All right. See how things play out in race number 9. I'm using 2 and 6
That
in
was
this
race
race.
8. We gotta go
Race
to the
8,
ninth.
excuse me.
Race
We'll
number
see
9.
now how
9
things
is
play out in
now.
race
We'll see
number
how it
9.
plays out now.
Let me tell you something. I would love to bet against this horse, Shady Lady. We'll take a look at her. Sadie Lady, excuse me. Winning the Dancing Renee. Who trained Dancing Renee?
Bobby Triola.
Absolutely. You know, he's been appearing on Twitter a little bit recently.
He trained the whole family. She was the dam of Safe Florida Sandy. My dad was an agent. Dale Cordova broke Safe Florida Sandy's maiden first time out on Father's Day.
This horse has had it all. It always comes back to your dad. 6 degrees of Tony Stabile. We should have a game. 6 degrees of Tony Stabile.
Good old Dale Cordova.
This is what?
Good old Dale Cordova.
Dale Cordova. Where's he?
I think he's driving a truck somewhere.
Right now.
Yeah,
At this
probably.
moment, right now
This
in
is
the truck.
truck driver time, right?
I hope the
12 o'clock.
weather's better wherever he is.
Me too. Hi, Dale.
I would like to bet against Sadie Lady. I just want to find the right spot to do it, and this isn't the right spot. But you were picking against her. And we will show the replay of your horse. Awesome debate, winning here 2 back. Why is she the horse to do it?
I just, she has the sloppy track race here at Saratoga. She's going to be the one, I would imagine, to benefit from.
What?
Doesn't Irish Constitution have to try and go with Sadie Lady here?
She can try to go with her. She's not going to go with her, but she could try to go with her.
I know that. And I'm just hoping Awesome Debate. I'm hoping the extra half a furlong helps Awesome Debate and hurts Sadie Lady.
Well, why would it
That's all
help
I'm
Awesome
hoping
Debate?
Well, because
She
Awesome
lost her 6.5 furlong race. She lost ground in the stretch.
She did lose a 6.5 furlong.
I know
race,
she did.
But it was off. It was off a considerable layoff, and she got herself involved in a pace duel that day. So
Well, she had to run the race. But anyway, my problem, that race we showed with Awesome Debate, that poured right before that race, and I think there's a reasonable argument it helped the front horses towards the front. It was a slow pace. I don't like Awesome Debate. You do, I don't. That's fine. I agree that on paper she's the second likeliest winner by a lot. I just don't really like her. And listen, I'm picking horses 2 to 5, and you're trying to beat her, which is fine. I'm not Sadie Lady's biggest fan. I think she is all dressed up with nowhere to go. But I can't.
Nowhere else to go.
I can't make a case for anybody else. I think Irish Constitution may just sit second the whole way around the track, and I would prefer to take her at a bigger price than take a horse like the 5, who I don't think she can win.
okay.
I just think all of her races are all dressed up by slow paces and biased racetracks, and she's just not fast enough for my money. Race number 10. it's a proud moment for me when I saw your picks for race number 10. At least, unlike last time, you have La Victoria in the top 4. So that's good. So I put Marvelous Maud 4th,
Okay.
just to give you a little company. You've been waiting for those slumbers to hit the dirt?
Listen, the bottom part of this pedigree, the dam was 3 for 5 on the dirt, and none of it made it. This going to slumber makes very little sense with this mare.
She's standing stud in Saul Cuban's front yard.
Apparently, he is. So now this race goes to 1 mile and an eighth. I would like to think that slumber's distance influence is going to help there, and this mare's like I said, the mare was all dirt. So I went to Marvelous Maud.
All righty. All right. I did not. But hey, I went to La Victoria. You know how much I love Joel Rosario. But I'm going to tell you, this might not have been Joel's high point in this meet. He was just wide. I mean, everybody talked about the great race that Essential Quality ran. Didn't she get the exact same trip that he got in a 5-horse field, basically 4 wide around the racetrack? So I thought she ran very, very well last time. I just think she's far and away the best horse, but I'm also picking, I would assume, a fairly heavy favorite. And with the presence of the 12, Vivizano, there's going to be some pace. Can Vivizano get 9 furlongs? Because, man, she has got to be loose as a goose.
Thought about picking her.
What?
I did. I thought about picking her.
I hope she wins for my buddy Steve Christ and Ken Durrett.
Yep, I thought about picking her. I'm hoping she just goes on a mission. We'll see how far
she's
she can go.
if she's not clear in here, then Dylan's got some questions to answer.
Yeah, we'll see how far she can go.
Yeah, we'll see how far she can go. I think she's dangerous. I'm going to use mostly La Verdad, La Victoria, whose last race will beat this field and will beat them fairly comfortably, in my opinion. We'll see how it plays out.
We will.
All right. You head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, no better time in the present to sign up for Naira Bets. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code SPA200. What else do we have? 50-50-50 bonus. $50 at Saratoga, Del Mar, and Delaware. Earn a $50 bonus. You bet at least that at each, and you opt in through Naira Bets. Also, low roller contest every Thursday and Sunday. $40 buy-in, $30 towards your live money, and $10 the prize pool. Fun way to play during the day, especially on a sloppy day here. Head over to the 4-Star Dave and CJ and or Ray to sign up. 2 lovely gentlemen. Saturday contest continue. You'll have till 5 o'clock tomorrow to sign up. $300 buy-in, cash and seat prizes. Go to naira.com/contests for more information. And finally, Saratoga Live all day today from 1 to 6:30 on FS2, covering all the action on a sloppy and off-the-turf Saratoga. But remember, sloppy or not, rainy or not, any day at Saratoga, better than any day anywhere else. Frank Miramati, who brought the rain to Saratoga, is up next with a reprise of the scratches and changes.